Presentation: Parma was a football laboratory. Zeman and Zaki had passed through here with Serie A. Then comes the symbol of this industrious and opulent land, Parmalat, with the Tanzi family acquiring the company. To give even more prestige to a company that is expanding around the world, bringing the name of Emilia to the 5 continents. A tough and pragmatic man leads the team, who molds her into his likeness, with a module that is a must in recent years, the 5-3-2. A little more lively than the staid rhythm of this era, so much so that it created the saying as close as Scala's Parma, when a person bothers you a lot and is oppressive in life. This man is precisely Nevio Scala. The team is hard-working but also imaginative. He phrases tightly and quickly but also knows the virtue of self-sacrifice, of defending by closing ranks with the classic libero behind. A midfield that combines phosphorus and substance to cover the holes and another player with difficult tactical definition like a CO. Then in attack the youthful vitality of Meli and the tactical intelligence of the young Brolin. Then over time also the additions of Gianfranco Zolu and Esprilla, among many. The first year of Serie A surprised everyone to the point of conquering a place in Europe as a newly promoted and provincial team. The following year the trophies began with the Italian Cup won against Juventus. A cycle will open with the Cup Winners' Cup final against Antwerp the following year, in the Temple of Football, Wembley, for a consecration officiated in the land where football was born. The Parma of Miracles also wins a European Cup. Construction: Nevio Scala's Parma raises the 2 full-backs in the build-up phase, lowering the midfielder who comes towards the 3 central defenders who are phrasing. A little further forward we find the other playmaker, while the attacking midfielder approaches the second striker. The other attacker remains high on the last defender. In the opponent's half of the field, however, the construction is always based on the possession of the 3 central defenders, who instead of passing horizontally look for a direct pass towards the playmakers or the second striker who comes towards them. The space left free by this movement is occupied by the midfielder. The 2 directors always remain staggered but in a more advanced position. The fullbacks are wide and tall and always aim for the last man. Development: the development phase takes place more quickly and always passes centrally from the playmakers or the second striker who comes towards him to then direct the ball towards the fullbacks or launch the attack into the depth of his teammates. Finalization: the finalization of the action takes place in 2 ways. The first, as we have seen previously, with the centrally deep attack of the strikers and the midfielder. The second is through the fullbacks' crosses. Non-possession phase and transitions: Scala's Parma non-possession phase is divided into 2 phases. The high attack on the construction of the opposing team, where it leaves behind only the 3 central defenders who stand tall in midfield, while all the other players crush the opposing ball carriers by closing the passing lines. The other takes over when this first phase leads to ball recovery. At this point the team returns to their own half of the pitch, lining up with a narrow and short 4-4-1-1. Only the attacker remains high in preventive avoidance. Passiamo a vedere la nostra tattica in Football Manager. Il modulo detto un 3-5-2 mentre lo stile tattico un jack press non poteva essere altro che un gegenpress. Il Parma di Scala in phase possesso l'empisa larga come I terzini devono star larghi, mentre per quanto riguarda poi il possesso palla partiamo pallu a terra della difesa e giochiamo centramenti, poi da el diamo la sovrapposizione dei nostri terzini e lasciamo I nostri centrocampisti alla decisione southeast servire appunto la sovrapposizione per lanciare centramenti all'attacco alla profondità degli attaccanti. Lo stile di passaggio poco più corto perché come abbiamo detto dobbiamo forzaggere in phase di costruzione per poi andare a verticalizzare una volta arrivati nello sviluppo dei nostri centrocampisti. Il ritmo di gioco comunque alto mentre per il resto mettiamo solo cross tessi perché non abbiamo una vera e propria torma abbiamo gente bravissimo ad attaccare lo spazio. As for the transition, when you lose possession, you press all over the pitch, and then once you recover, you go on the counter-attack. Once the goalkeeper has possession of the ball, he passes to our central defenders. Per quanto riguarda la transizione, quando si perde il possesso si fa pressing a tutto campo, poi una volta recuperato si va in contropiede. Il portiere una volta in possesso del pallone passa ai nostri centrali difensivi. Per quanto riguarda invece la fase di non possesso, la squadra alta, sia di linea difensiva che offensiva. Il pressing alto con molto pressing e impedite passaggi al portiere. La linea di difesa resto alta con pi alti so fer il fuorigioco. Passiamo adesso a vedere I nostri ruoli portieri. Taprel portiere bravissimo fra I pali, passimo con I piedi, poi come abbiamo visto non fa parte della costruzione della manovra, ancora non andava questo, nonostante questo Parma l'idea di Scala fossero almeno 10-15 anni avanti a tutti gli altri centramenti. Troviamo il libero Minotti e accanto a lui due difensori centrali classici davanti. Troviamo il regista tratto colui che div, the two fullbacks are fluidizing support fullbacks who are very important in Scala's Parma, both to close the development and then finalize with crosses, and also just to widen the opponent's defense. In fact, we go there to set a wider stand, dribble more and run more risks. Were two fullbacks who were very good technically and with immense lungs, both from Chiaru and Irving on the right. The two midfielders are a CEO, as we said before. Difficult role decision. Definition of role, let's say, because he was a player who varied a lot in the field and was often inserted, so he is a central attacking midfielder to whom we told him to shoot more. He dribbles more and takes more risks. That is, in practice he almost has to be an added striker. The other is a mobile director, what we said before. Phosphorus and creativity in Football Manager. This is evident in the mobile director because he is someone who moves a lot around the pitch, precisely being mobile, but he puts a lot of creativity and a lot of planning into his movement. I never give directors personal settings because in my opinion they are one of the few roles that are good, so in Football Manager they have the right basic settings. In front we find the second striker supporting Melli, and here too we have not given him any settings, and we have already talked about it before, the movement of the second striker. In front we have a center forward, namely Asprilla. You will tell me why Asprilla, that you said first that he came later, because allow me, I couldn't emulate Parma without putting Faustino, who in this case took the place of Brolin, who you see here on the bench. Now I leave you with the results, and if you like my contents, leave a free subscription to the channel. Thanks from your Magicomonta and a hug.